Let me tell you, I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way. There's nothing but blue skies coming your way. I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way. Blue skies coming your way. Blue skies coming your way. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is Dick Whitney bringing you the weather.
At the dough. At the dough. At the dough. Always stacking bread. Always stacking bread. Always stacking bread. Always stacking bread.
This is Dick Whitman bringing you the weather. This is Dick Whitman bringing you the weather. Let me tell you, I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way.
It is Saturday, May 24th, and you are watching a new episode of You Don't Watch Sports right here on Feo Grande YouTube Network. I am Bill Smith, and I'm joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week, good sir?
Good sports week. You know, Battlehawks already clinched the conference finals for UFL, so always good news for the STL. Cardinals also still going strong, so other than that, good sports week for me.
Absolutely. We're going to cover 3 topics here on You Don't Watch Sports. Just sprinkle a little bit of sports information into that casual conversation as we are your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Topic number 1, we still have playoffs going on, Omari, so that's covering our first 2 topics here today. First one, number 1, NHL. Let's get us caught up in the conference finals. We currently have a tied series over in the West with Dallas and the Edmonton Oilers all tied up at 1 game apiece. And then over on the East, we have Florida leading 2-0 against the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, those are 7-game series leading up to the Stanley Cup Finals. We still have our Canadian possible prediction in the cards, and then we still have the loose connection to the fact that you live in the state of Florida.
Yeah, I live in the state of Florida and had a high school mascot that was a star.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's right. And the high school mascot that was a star.
The through line since last year.
So we still have that going on, and we will update you next week on the Stanley Cup. Yeah. Topic number 2, Omari, the NBA playoffs still happening. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so crisis averted, no more worst case scenario. The Fighting Cronkies lost to the OKC Thunder, who have then moved on to the Nuggets are owned by Kroenke. The Cronkies lost to the Thunder, and so the Thunder are already in the Western Conference Finals against Ant-Man and the Timberwolves, and they're already up 2 games. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with his freaking 34.5 points a game. Jalen Williams, 22.5 points a game. And Chet Holmgren, that guy's also going crazy with just about 19 a game. Coming off the bench for them, they got the depth that the Timberwolves just don't seem to have with these first 2 games. But, home team advantage. Series doesn't start till someone wins on the road is what they say. And they were ones with the home court advantage, so who knows? Ant-Man and the boys could come back and avenge their 2 losses, but in the meantime, they're going crazy. And like I said, Alex Caruso, shout out to him. I liked him when he was on the Bubble Lakers. They traded him to the Bulls shortly after that, or he left and went to the Bulls shortly after that season. And then people were like, Thunder, what are you doing? Why are you trading away Josh Giddey for Alex Caruso? Well, it looks like getting rid of Josh Giddey was the correct decision because Alex Caruso is going 44% from deep in these playoffs, coming, not being a starter, but still very much an asset, just like he was that Lakers season. So shout out to him with that. Meanwhile, on the other side, in the East, we got Indiana versus the Knicks. The Pacers versus the Knicks. These 2 teams don't like each other. There is history there. Think about Spike Lee. Think about Reggie Miller. 8 points in 8 seconds. Just that whole thing. The Knicks not having a good time against the Pacers. And boy, they're still not having a good time against the Pacers. Hey, what's up, Ibn 1989? I see you in the chat. Good to see you there. But yes, the Knicks lost the game 1 with the astonishing, after being up 14 points with 2.5 minutes to go. Tyler Halliburton decided to put it on himself and bring his team back into the game with the Kawhi Leonard-esque final shot at the end of the regulation. Ball bounced off the back of the rim into the sky. Knicks fans celebrate, but it comes down. Swish. Right into the hoop. No extra bounces needed either. It was just straight up and down. And boy, and we thought the game was over, but they reviewed it. 2 points instead of 3. We got wild and lost our minds. That game went into overtime. And so there you go. The Pacers went ahead, came back and won that. And then game 2, the boy Pascal Siakam showing up. Haven't seen him do much since the Toronto Raptors, that Kawhi Leonard year when he was on that team that won a championship. So we got championship DNA on both sides. Like, both conference finals have a team that haven't won a championship practically ever, or at the very least in a long ass time, and both of them have at least somebody on that team that was helping on a championship team before. I mentioned Caruso with the Thunder, and we got Siakam here with the Pacers, and he's doing a lot more than Caruso is. I talked about how good Caruso was shooting, but Siakam, career playoff high, 39 points in game 2. Now, that series has been started because the Pacers are on the road for those first 2 games. So, yeah, that series is well underway, to borrow that analogy. But, yeah.
I'd like to hear, of these 4 teams, throw your prediction down below. But I feel like all momentum is on. Obviously, they're both leading 2 games to nothing. All momentum is on the Thunder and the Pacers, but more specifically the Pacers.
Yeah.
I feel like there's these moments in sports where you feel the charge of a certain team, and it feels like the Pacers are just on another level from everybody else.
I'm kind of with you, but at the same time, we've been trying to talk about them all season, and by trying to talk about them, I mean I've been talking about how no one's been talking about them because they want to recycle the same old topics over and over again. But Shai Gilgeous and the boys have been running the league like they were the 1 seed for 90% of the fucking season, if I remember correctly. He should be the shoe-in for MVP at this point. I don't know how you argue against it anymore, aside from Jokic is the Joker. But I don't know, man. That team... I'm thinking we're looking at a Thunder Pacers finals. I don't think this will be 2 sweeps because Ant-Man, people, I don't want to say anything against Anthony Edwards because I don't watch it closely enough. This is a casual sports show, obviously. But the way people talk about Anthony Edwards, I can't see him getting swept, especially if he's supposed to be the heir apparent new face of the league. But let me tell you, Halliburton's got something to say. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has something to say to that. And I think they're going to be talking to each other in the finals, and we'll see who has the last word. Yeah, analogies.
All right. All right. We're going to move on to topic number 3 on today's show. And that is some, looks like you have titled wrestling. We got some wrestling going on, and that's appropriate on both levels here, as we got 2 big shows. We got 2 shows this weekend, one big show and one show. Saturday night's main event on WWE tonight on Saturday. Not a huge program for them, but still, a TV event. Want to run through these 5 matches here real quick. We've got US title rematch: Chelsea Green versus champion Zelina Vega. I so hope that Chelsea Green gets this title back in this match. But we'll see.
I'm a root for Zelina because why not? We usually agree on everything anyway.
Why
So
not? I could give
I'm a
you
root for
several
that.
reasons, but we've got maybe the blow off to this feud that started a few weeks before WrestleMania. A steel cage match: Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. This is going to be entertaining.
Yeah.
I hope it has a conclusive ending.
Yeah, they've been feuding for like a year now. Like, since the fucking Mania last year, because remember he cashed in on.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it
The
that
Punk
way,
thing.
then they've been adjacent feuding for quite a long time.
They don't like each other storyline wise, and been fighting, in between his feuds with Punk and Rollins and everybody, because Drew don't like anybody. Priest has been one of the main people he's been fighting. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's time for them both to move on from one another into their own little avenue. So I hope it's conclusive as well. I like Drew.
We've got a tag match. The new heel faction, Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, are going against Sami Zayn and CM Punk. This one I'm hoping is more of a story development match. Like maybe we get the new
third
announced. We get the third man potentially, or just kind of like or maybe Sammy is
Or
revealed.
Sammy is the third man.
Or Sammy is revealed as the third man, or at the least, Braun and Seth, I think, need to win this match. If simply it's just a story of CM Punk and Sami Zayn aren't exactly cool with each other, they don't make a great team.
Mm-hmm.
Seth and Braun are united. And they win this match. If that's all it is, that's all it is. But I'd love a story beat here.
I agree with you on that one, and pretty much in all fronts. I need this to be a story development kind of deal.
R-Truth is facing his childhood hero, Omari, John Cena. He also described it as he's not facing John Cena. He's facing whoever the man is that John Cena has turned into. And he's going to beat the hustle, loyalty, respect back into his ass. A fun little promo by R-Truth last night on SmackDown. What are your thoughts here? I mean, this is just kind of for fun, right? This is
Cena
it's John
wins.
Cena's last year.
Cena wins. He's just kind of checking off all his big names.
You gotta see
opponents
him
throughout the time.
Yeah.
And I want to see the match. I hope there is. I hope it's a match. Because R-Truth is R-Truth, and I've liked him since his name was K-Quick. Getting rowdy, about to move some things. Had the hat rack crack as a finisher. For those of you who think I'm just lying about being a K-Quick fan.
He's got creds. He's got credits.
I was target demographic. I thought that shit was awesome. That said, I want him to have a good match, with Cena, and kind of the whole beat the hustle, loyalty, respect back into him. We saw, because as lame as this John Cena heel turn has been for 90% of wrestling fans, there are things that I see him trying to do. Like when he won his last match, where he had that little bit of look of kind of, am I actually doing this after the match? Am I going down the thing? There's that little hint of regret
Yeah.
to the heel aspect to go and heel. So having a hard fought match with R-Truth where he has to question himself more about this path he's taken for his final year. Do I really want to go out that way? But he still wins because at the end of the day, it's John Cena versus R-Truth. We know where their positions are in time. I think that should be the way.
You got
it
a
goes.
fellow K Quickhead and Ibn.
Yeah, same here, K Quick. Yeah. Hey, getting rowdy. But
Yeah, I'd love for this to be, again, like the tag match, I'd love for this to be a story development match, a story bullet point in the long-term story of this John Cena thing. Whether it is fully, like, I could see a world where this match fully integrates John Cena back into a face role. If it's produced that way and if that's the way they want it to go. I don't think they'll go that far with it. I think it'll be like you described at the end of Backlash, where you start to see more and more chinks in the facade of, I'm putting on this heel bad guy. I'm not a good guy. Hustle Loyal, you guys suck. I feel like it's gonna be another big crack in that facade until he eventually. Because you don't want him to, I don't think he's going to end his career as a bad guy. You gotta make the flip back at some point in the course of this story. So maybe Ron Killings is a impetus for that.
yeah, I agree.
World Heavyweight Championship is on the line, Omari. Yeet Nation, Jey Uso is going to be defending his title against Logan Paul. Is there a world where Logan Paul wakes up Sunday morning as the World Heavyweight Champion?
So the pessimist in me says yes, and that we're living in it. That said, the optimist in me, that some people argue doesn't exist, is hoping that the Yeet Man pulls it off.
Yeah.
Because I don't want Logan Paul to be the champion. Like, yes, the guy's got the athletic skills. If you just solely look at his WWE product, he's a really good dooba-dooba-doo. Yes, I get that. Same time, I can't ignore the past / present, depending on who you talk to. And I don't want to hear everyone else complaining about it happening. Just for the peace of mind. So I'm gonna need Logan to lose and be a prime example of why the Yeet Man is not one to mess with.
Yeah, same here. All right, Omari. On Sunday we have AEW Double or Nothing, and as tradition with AEW, we got a giant stacked card here. I don't know if we're gonna go through everything on the table, but we're gonna hit a bunch of stuff in connection to the wrestling title on the marquee next to us. We have Ricochet and Mark. We have Ricochet and Mark Briscoe in a stretcher match. I have seen some quarters of AEW fandom who are like, "Nah, this is too wrestling. Like, get these gimmick matches out of here like this." I love this kind of stuff. Well, it's the same people.
Match, but you put them on a stretcher, I'm guessing. Is that the case?
Yeah. It's the same people who were off on the Touch Four Corners match from CM Punk and Drew McIntyre last summer. It's like they don't want, like, it's too old school for them. It's too, I love it. This is the kind of stuff that I love. I'm excited for that. Mark Briscoe in recent AEW is kind of there to eat pins.
Yeah, he's there to
I feel like Ricochet kind of is ready for another win here. He's had some moments recently that have brought him back down. I think it's a Ricochet win.
Mark Briscoe was there to remind us, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but to forever remind us of, like, his late brother and how awesome he was, and kind of a respect thing to that. But he's also eating pins. He's not going to be the big singles guy. The touch all four shit sucks. No, I said it's lame, but that's just what the business is sometimes. And so you get the matches, and you can make some of those kind of matches work.
Yeah.
Yeah. That said, stretcher match, I got Ricochet winning this, like for the reasons you said. Mark Briscoe's just here now. And he's going to be eating the pin, and everyone's going to be happy enough just seeing him in the ring with he deserves to be here now with all the work he's put in all these years. But yeah,
We've got the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The champions, the Hurt Syndicate, are going against the Sons of Texas. That's Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes, who are the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. We do have some stuff with MJF. The current Hurt Syndicate story is that MJF has been trying to curry favor with the Hurt Syndicate and become a member. The most recent Dynamite, they actually did the acceptance and the signing and officially named MJF as a member of the Hurt Syndicate, on a little bit of a swerve to the audience, because everyone, like, the assumption in, trope wrestling is that this slowly builds for several weeks of Hurt Syndicate not giving their answer to eventually a beatdown.
To a beatdown, and they're just saying no.
Right. Well, because we also have Cedric Alexander out there in the wind.
Oh, yeah.
Whose 90 day or whose 30 day is up. And also even teased on an independent wrestling event after winning a match, grabbed the mic and was like, I just want to remind you all that I hurt people. And he did that the weekend before that Dynamite, where everyone already thought that they were going to about ready to sign MJF to the Hurt Syndicate. And then it's like, yes, we do have a new member of the Hurt Syndicate. It's Cedric Alexander. None of that happened, and it ended up just being MJF joining the Hurt Syndicate, and then immediately they went into a tag team promo battle with the Sons of Texas. So there's something there. Do I think that that's going to affect the outcome of this match in any real way? No. Hurt Syndicate is winning this match.
Yeah. The Hurt Syndicate wins.
But that's what makes this match a little bit more than just a match.
Yeah.
There's something there that could maybe Ibn can give us our thoughts. He's definitely the biggest AEW channel.
Who's to say that Cedric can't coexist with MJF and then eventually lead to like MJF's whole like inevitable betraying of the Hurt business. This is MJF. This is what he do.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because you have Bobby Lashley in the group already, and you'd think that Bobby Lashley was already going to be their heavyweight champion competitor level character. So MJF the entire time MJF is walking into this group, he's constantly vocalizing, I'm going to go after the main title and you all are going to help me do it. That's why I'm joining you, is because you are going to get the world heavyweight title back for me. So there's a much bigger story there that is one of my most intriguing things about what's going on in AEW right now. Let's see here. We've got, speaking of some of my favorite things in AEW, the AEW Women's World Championship is going to be on the line. Timeless Toni Storm is facing Mina Shirakawa. Now, one would say that it's pretty obvious that Toni is going to win this one, but they did eliminate her streak. They became very vocal about her being undefeated in what do they call them? Title eliminator matches. Toni Storm has been undefeated in her title eliminator matches.
What is that?
Until Mina Shirakawa pinned Toni Storm.
And this is an eliminator match? It's only
This is the real deal. This is the real deal because Mina won the eliminator match.
Okay, what the
I
title
say all that to
eliminating
say
match?
that they are giving factors to say that this is a winnable match for Mina Shirakawa, but I do not think it's going to happen.
I'm just confused. What's the title eliminator match? Because I'm assuming that's different than an elimination match.
Or whatever the match, the non-title match that they have to decide if you can get a title match.
Gotcha.
It's honestly one of the things I hate the most in wrestling on both sides.
Number one contenders match type deal.
Number one contenders match against the champion. That's what I'm saying. Like
Gotcha.
Toni Storm fights you in a non-title match to see if you get to fight her in a title match.
Yeah. Okay.
Both companies do it, and it's the stupidest thing in the world to me. If you are a champion, every match you have should be for your championship. And if you are a champion, you should also not be fighting for the qualification of other championships. The fact that the U.S. title holder for the women's championship and the men's championship were in Money in the Bank qualifying matches last night on SmackDown pissed me off. You should care about your fucking championship.
Yeah.
And then if you're a champion, you shouldn't be if you're going to fight the champion, fight her for the championship. I hate non-title matches for champions.
What if you win the Money in the Bank and can take the other title? And you
No,
can
yeah,
be,
that's
you
what
know,
that's what they
Tommy
said,
Two
but
Belts.
like no, if she's going to fight on the show, have her defend her title. Like that's what pisses me off. Yeah, and then Wade Barrett tried to excuse it too. He goes, Tessitore said what you said of like the possibility for double champion, and then Wade Barrett goes, yeah, and if she wins it, then she would be able to prevent anyone cashing on her for her U.S. title. Like, don't, that's bullshit. Come on.
Yeah, well, if you're U.S. and you want to have the main one, in addition, but if you're like already got,
But
the
that's
main
also
one,
openly like that's an unspoken thing that we shouldn't speak about.
Yeah.
Like the people who hold the mid-card titles shouldn't acknowledge them as mid-card titles.
Well, not-
I
okay.
want those
I
people
said
to act
mid.
like that is
I
the
don't want
greatest
to-
belt in the entire world.
oh, okay, well, I want both of them. I want both greatest belts.
Sure. Speaking of multi belts and offshoot of the AEW Women's World Championship,
I
the
agree
reason
about
part
Tony.
part reason why I think it's such a lock for Toni Storm is because we're actively trying to decide what the all-in match is going to be, and that will be decided by the finals of the Owen Hart tournament, which is Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. They will go on to face the AEW Women's World Champion at All In.
So it's Mercedes.
Yeah, I mean, if your question is what is the largest women's match I can put on television as an AEW person, it is going to be Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné. So I gotta assume that Mercedes is coming out of this one, although the characters have a lot more reason to be in a storyline, Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter. Based on their deep history with each other. Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné not really there. It's just a like, you're the most popular woman, I'm the most popular woman, we got to fight now. So there is a lot of story there for Jamie Hayter. I've seen people say that there is the possibility that Mercedes does run a program with Athena for All In, that is also a gigantic match. That would be an incredible match, likely. And that is a secondary option for Mercedes. As Hayter goes on to fight Storm.
Yeah,
Just to present options on this being a winnable fight on either side.
I like Mercedes versus Athena if they go that route. I like Athena even when she was in WWE. That said, isn't Mercedes also doing speaking of us with the multi belts, isn't she doing a belt collector gimmick?
She is, but she dropped one of them already.
Fair.
She's dropped one of them in the last month. maybe as quick as 2 weeks. My time is weird now. Um, but she has potentially begun the process of dropping them. Who knows? She could immediately gather two more in its place. I don't know.
Fair. But yeah. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a double champion. I don't think that's what Bill's argument was. It's just they just need to be. Don't say that your current belt is lesser than the belt you're going for.
Right. And yeah, double champions are fun sometimes. Multi champions are fun sometimes. But I also don't want every single champion to constantly be trying to gather up every championship.
Yeah.
Like that's a fun storyline for one person to have. On one show last night, you actively had the female US title holder fight in a Money in the Bank qualifier match. Not like it's a match to get into the Money in the Bank, which by the way, they pinned her. And then you have the men's US title holder later on that night fighting in the men's qualifier match to get into the Money in the Bank.
However,
So
the person who pinned her can now be the #1 contender for that USA Championship because they got the argument they pinned the champ. So now we remove. So now that person doesn't.
well, that's
win
too
Money in
late
the
because
Bank.
Chelsea Green is fighting her tomorrow night or tonight. And it wasn't Chelsea Green that pinned her. So
they
we
had
just
the
needed somebody to
argument.
pin, and we decided that it was going to be our U.S. champion. Because nobody gives a fuck about that belt except for Chelsea Green. That's why I wanted it back on her. Because when Chelsea Green wore it, she acted like that was the greatest title in all of wrestling. And that's what I want every one of my title holders to do.
No, that's a fair argument. I'm not arguing against that point. I do like it when people care about the belt they got.
But yeah, that wasn't. I mean, yeah, double champion, love double and multi champions. The center point of my rant was non-title matches,
Yeah.
which I think I've already had this moment with our crew of wrestling watchers on the
Yeah.
text thread potentially. But yeah, I hate non-title matches. If you're a champion, every match you should have is for that championship because why wouldn't it be?
No.
If I beat you and you're the champion, no, fuck you. That makes me the champion now. All right, let's go into anarchy in the arena.
Oh,
We have Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, The Ops, which is Samoa Joe and Shibata, and Will Hobbs and Willow Nightingale. Sorry. Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, Shibata, Will Hobbs, Willow Nightingale are going to go against the Death Riders of Castignola, Wheeler Yuta, Mina Shafir, John Moxley, and the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. It's going to be chaos. As most
as
anarchy in the
always.
arenas are, lots of fun. You know, they're probably going to do the music, the whole spiel. It's going to be madness. They teased on Dynamite the idea of Kenny Omega doing a one-winged angel through a table onto somebody. That I could see that being the finish that they go with potentially. Yeah, not sure here. I'm leaning good guys.
Yeah, I think it's time. Death Riders didn't go nowhere. Let's do it. Omega. Let's put it
All
into
right.
the Death Rider storyline.
And then what might be the finale? What might be the main event? I'm not sure. It's going. The match is going to go.
Reason people are watching.
The match is going to go so hard. If you're an AEW person, this is like this is a dream match here. Owen Hart final tournament. We have Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page.
Baby.
Just like on the female side of thing, this is for a title shot at All In. I don't know if they are directly ever saying that or if that's just a known thing. Like you become the #1 contender, and then the next big event is going to be All
Yeah.
In. So or I don't know if they're directly saying it like WWE does Royal Rumble. I can't think on that at this point. Um, but yeah, Will Ospreay, Hangman Adam Page, who is the face of this company.
Osprey.
It's kind of how they've been building it. It's
Osprey.
like,
Like,
who is the good guy here?
yeah, it's going to. I feel like it's Osprey because okay, so I'm a little out of the loop, but I don't see Moxley wearing a belt in this Anarchy in the Arena.
Ibn
promo.
confirms this was declared the main event on Dynamite.
Okay. I don't see Moxley wearing a belt in this Anarchy in the Arena picture, but I see Omega wearing one. Is Omega the current champion?
No, Omega is the international champion.
Okay.
Moxley, remember, the belt is in a briefcase. We haven't seen the belt in 9 months.
I don't like that.
It's a controversial move. It's a controversial move. You got to think about how big the pop is going to be when you see the belt again for the first time. You got to assume that that's what they're going for,
Unless they're
or
going
they're
for,
going
like,
for
a
a
new
redesign,
design.
which I don't know if you redesign. It's
It's a really
it's
good
a
belt.
beautiful title.
Yeah, it's a really
It's a
good.
beautiful title. But yeah, I think it's just going to be the pop when that belt is finally revealed is going to be a big deal. But yeah, in order to get there, you gotta go through the woods.
All right. So that complicates things a bit because I'm like, if Omega's got, I'm like, because that didn't look like the belt on Omega, but I was like, if Omega's got the belt, then Omega Osprey is clearly where you go with this, because Osprey, biggest name in the company at the moment. Everybody loves them some Will Ospreay, but there is history between Moxley and Adam Page, baby. You know how it goes. But that said, I think the biggest money-making thing you do here is you pull the trigger on Ospreay, put him in that main title picture. Maybe have him be the guy. Maybe the Death Riders do win. And you have Ospreay be the guy that puts it into the whole saga by dethroning him, and you just super skyrocket Ospreay as that dude in the company.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got Ospreay beating Adam Page. Adam Page can afford to lose this. He's Adam Page. He's a 2-time, I think, champ at this point.
If I was going to put money on it, I would say I agree with you that I think they're going to crown Ospreay as the guy here. I love me some Hangman Adam Page. He has
Same.
grown in the the hard, angry, I'm a villain now, but I don't acknowledge that I'm a villain angle that was running for a while was good, but I wasn't. It was when he started to show the cracks, like 3 months ago or so, and start to revert back, and then I already knew the IRL person and how in real life pretty cool, seems like a really cool dude. I've enjoyed seeing that side of things, and that always ends up connecting me to a wrestler, and so I've grown to do that. I just get a great vibe from him. I've told you, I think I vocalized it before. Will Ospreay gives me that golden retriever lab vibe sometimes on not a great level, and Hangman's got them edges that make him just a more interesting character. So I feel like in my heart I would want Hangman right now, but in my brain it's saying everyone wants this to be the crowning moment for Ospreay. They want him to be the golden goose. I don't know if he is the golden goose right now. I feel like people could make arguments for Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, Darby Allin, who is due to be back soon.
Successfully climbed Everest. Darby Allin.
But
Even
I
did a
think-
kickflip on the mountain.
I think AEW wants Will to be the golden goose, potentially.
If
So
it's
yeah,
got
I think that's
Ibben's got Hangman beating. I agree with you. Ibben's got Hangman beating Osprey, taking the belt off of Mox, and Swerve taking it off of him to keep their thing going.
That's incredible. When they were teasing that they were going to team up a few weeks ago, I thought that was too fast, too soon. I kind of do want them to see, just lifetime at odds with each other. Sometimes they're both classified as good guys on the roster, but I always want them to be eyeballing each other. Like, you take one step out of line, and it's on again.
When you reach house burning status in your relationship,
Cutting promo on your baby, burning your house down. Yeah, it's
like y'all don't like each other, and you never will. Y'all may be forced to get along, reluctantly get along, but those kind of matches where you decide to team up, you're going to lose because you guys don't like each other. That kind of shit.
All right, those are our predictions for Saturday night's main event happening tonight, and then you have AEW Double or Nothing on Sunday. If I read my news right, AEW Double or Nothing not appearing on Triller this weekend, and so if you're a Triller watcher, you got to find a new avenue. Maybe they fixed that currently, but so just keep that in mind if you are looking to tune in to AEW Double or Nothing. That'll do it here for this week on You Don't Watch Sports. If you like watching us talk about other random stuff, we do a media show on Tuesdays that's called This Guy Hasn't Seen, where we share movies back and forth. May or may not currently be on a Mission Impossible takeover, where we're watching every Mission Impossible movie back to 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 back, leading up to the final Mission Impossible movie coming out in theaters this weekend. So, Omari, where else can they find you on the internet?
Well, they can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Streaming Earth Day 240. You know what that means. Playing a lot more fighting games given to CEOs within a month. So yeah, looking forward to
Gotta
doing
get tuned
that.
up. Gotta get tuned up.
Yes,
We coming at him. We coming at him, CEO.
Yes,
Look out,
sir.
CEO. We coming.
Got goals to accomplish, and Bill's done talking. I'm done talking. It's time for me to start on walking out of here. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for talking. Adiosness. God
Adam
damn it.
Page, baby. The door didn't